Now we in the building. There we go. Papa Fretters, what up?
Welcome, my hero.
What up? Daniel,
Welcome, my hero.
Tate,
Welcome, my hero.
what's Gucci? You can hear me now? You can hear me now? Had to fix the mic, pause. One day I'm gonna figure out this delay shit. Yeah, about like a minute. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling on this Monday blue? You feel me? I ain't gonna lie. Mondays ain't too bluish to me. You feel me? Mondays is like, it's like I enjoy Mondays. I'm Gucci Dan. I'm pulling up in Vegas, Dan. I'm gonna see you in Vegas. I'm gonna see you in Vegas.
Welcome, my hero.
That's right, your boy's out to Vegas in February. We outside. Try to join the live with y'all. Good day. That's a fact. Today definitely felt like a good day. Meditating and educating. I like that. I like that. I like that there. I can't stick this here. There you go. Meditating and educating. That's what it's all about. Feeling good, mentally, physically, all that. Today's Monday. So what we gonna do today? Should we do lock and vars? Or lock and vars for Tuesdays? That's for tomorrow. Lock and vars for tomorrow. So what can we do today? What you been doing? Doing no calls? Nah, today we did, some efficiencies. We had a new guy join the squad. Okay, watching the Steelers versus Texans. You feel me? So I did a couple efficiencies, did a couple teachings. You know what I mean? Trying to think about how to get prepared for this February joint. Got to make some new Boiler Hero T-shirts, all that. You feel me? Oh, gaming Monday now. We ain't gaming. If I was to play a game right now, it would be maybe like what was that? Red Dead Redemption. That's the closest to a Boilerman. Red Dead Redemption. That's the closest game to being a Boilerman. At least we can make a fire and cook some shit. You feel me? Tell me about business in the city. Parts versus new burner replacement. What can we expect in the next few months? What up, Isaiah?
Welcome, my hero.
Business in the city. We're doing a lot of upgrading. You're getting a lot of new ICs that you should be happy about. Parts versus new burner. I think a lot of people are going new burner. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going new burner, new boilers. A lot of these like messed up boilers are finally getting replaced with brand new boilers. We're doing a lot of installs and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are now getting in tune with the Siemens. I think the Siemens controls are actually what's like becoming the norm right now. I think they're trying to do away with the E110 relays and stuff like that. If you want to go cheap, people are putting, cheap burners and, a lot of, I think if you're not going burner, you're going high efficiency boiler. A lot of Lars, Camus, all those air codes, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm always a straight put a burner in there, preferably an IC. You know what I mean? But I think that's where everybody's trying to go. They're trying to sell this high efficiency shit, and they trying to go with this BMS shit. Then they try to go with this run wise shit. They're not even caring about the flame anymore. They just caring about how long the boiler's staying on. You know what I mean? They don't even care about that. I always thought, does Cleaver have a strong presence and boots on the ground supporting? You know, to be honest with you, Dan, when it comes to like Cleaver, it seems like everybody goes to either Miller Proctor or Wims for IC. You know, Miller Proctor more for Cleaver Brooks, IC. What up, Ed?
Welcome, my hero.
That's my boy, Ed, man. Robert, Daddy, what's your favorite boiler? I don't even know what you mean by that, but my favorite burn is definitely the IC. You know what I mean? But Cleaver, like, you know, like I said, Miller Proctor, you go to Wims for IC, you know, you can go to H&B for parts as well and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. You know, there's no real, I don't think there's a real connection from us to Cleaver themselves. We have to go through that third party, you know, type shit, which is cool going through Wims. This is my opinion. I don't really think people like going through Miller Proctor too much. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I feel like Miller Proctor got a hold on the game when it comes to Cleaver. I'm just saying. I could be wrong. But that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? For what I experience. Like when it comes to Cleveland Brooks, I don't know who to really call. If I'm calling anybody, it's going to be Wims. I tried calling Miller Proctor. They do not pick up the phone pretty easily. That's just my opinion. I called them personally and I've got nothing. Maybe I'm calling at the wrong times. Maybe I'm calling while everybody's at lunch or something like that. Because I've gotten those, everybody's at lunch. Somebody ain't working. You told me everybody's at lunch. You working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, right? MPN isn't selling to the degree that Wims does on burners. That's a fact. I'll be honest with you. We wouldn't call them for burners. We'll actually call them for support. More Miller Proctor, we call them for parts, but not burners, but parts, but more support than anything. Come on, man, you name dropping over here, okay? Yeah. You damn right. Richie and Joey are the best. I'm not gonna lie, I have a long time relationship with Richie. You know what I mean? I knew that guy since I came in the game and stuff like that. When he was young and I was young in the game. Joey, I'm cool with Joey. Joey actually is funny. And I don't know if Joey remembers this. But it's funny because Joey actually put me on with Marathon at one time. There was a time where I was bouncing around from companies. You know, I started with Learden. That's the company I'm with right now. I actually started with them. I started the industry with them. But when I was bouncing around, yo, what up, Sua?
Welcome, my hero.
When I was bouncing around, there was one time I was working for, I think, what company? I forgot what company I was working for. I went to Wims. They told me, well, why don't you try Marathon? And I said, I bet. And I went to Marathon. It was a decent experience, but Joey put me on. He was the first one to really put me on with this like a company. You know what I mean? So shout outs to Joey for that. You know what I mean? But both very, very much helpful. Wims is definitely helpful when it comes to IC. Big support from Wims. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not gonna really call Miller Proctor too much. That's just my opinion. And maybe some other people are co-signing, like my man Ed right now. I love my man Ed. I love my man Ed. You feel me? But that's pretty much how that is. But, you know, I think IC is pretty much well known in the sense where everybody has a little piece of knowledge of IC that everybody brings to the table and everybody shares. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. That's how I see it. was cool about today, we had a new guy today, and I was basically showing him the ropes, showing him how to, how we do efficiencies and all this stuff, showing him the wiring. Hope to meet you someday. Appreciate the support and shout outs to the IC brand. Our team is the best. Are you pulling up to Las Vegas? Are you going to Vegas? Are you going to the AHR in Vegas? If you're going, then I'm going to see you there. I'm going to see you there. Overall, like I said, with IC, I think everybody has a piece of IC experience where everybody can have like a good night, Ed. I appreciate you pulling up. Everybody has a little piece of IC knowledge that they bring to the table. So like IC is just like so unified, so open out there. Like everybody has a piece of the IC. I think we can set up a ride along with you. I don't know if that's possible. You gotta talk to the boss. Unless you got the connection to the boss, I don't know if that's possible. It's the best. Johan, it's the best. Welcome.
Welcome, my hero.
It's the best to bring new people to the field, especially young, eager-minded people who's actually interested in knowing and wanting to know the knowledge. It makes me want to teach even more, and today was a good day. I had a great day teaching them, you know what I mean? And it was a good experience. He enjoyed it for what I believe, you know what I mean? I showed him the IC. I had to start where I started at, using the IC, the DE. We switching it over to gas, explaining him the switch over, the changeover switch. You know what I'm saying? How things deactivate when they're switching over. Had to explain to him, which I don't know if this is the true story. But this is what I got. That's a fact. I'm hearing this. This is what I'm hearing. Why does the ICDE have an auto and oil slot? And why is not the switch over? Why is not a gas and oil switch over? That's a question that a lot of supers ask me, right? And I tell them, this is what I tell them. I say, auto is because it can automatically switch from oil to gas on its own. This side is supposed to be switched on its own. This side, oil side, deactivates all that and it's just oil. But when you switch to auto, it's because it can be on gas and automatically switch to oil on its own on auto. That's what I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? What's the company name? Learden Boiler Works. Suez, I don't think you're gonna make it happen. I will be fairly impressed if you make it happen. I don't think it's possible. They're not having this. They're not having this. I'll be fairly impressed. But yeah, the auto and oil changeover selection switch. I even got smart with it. I even called it the selection switch. Why does it say auto and oil and not gas? And I'm okay with it saying auto. It makes sense to me. But this is the question I get from supers. Papa, why does it not say gas? If that's the gas side, then this is the oil side. Why does it not say gas and oil? Why does it? Some people even cross out the auto and they put winter. You feel me? What's wild? What's wild, Suez? Why you wilding out here, Suez? Why you wilding? What's wild? What that means? What are you wilding out here? What's wild? I'm trying to get into Boilergate. How would I go about that? I do general service. I'm trying to get into the Boilergate. My opinion. If you want to get into boilers right now, like if you're in the general service, you're kind of like in the door already. you kind of have to link up with a company that's willing to hire you. And I don't want to say take a chance on you, but kind of like take a chance on you and start you from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Preferably, if I had a choice, I would start by cleaning boilers, doing overhauls, and then service. But nobody starts like that no more, for what I believe. You know, Luigi, what up?
Welcome, my hero.
Are you sure Linden Boilers is the best? I'm not. Yes. Listen, I'm there. You feel me? So yes, I'm the best. So yes, they're the best. They're the best. You know what I mean? If you have anything different to say, then you must have not seen me. I must have not went to your building. So I don't know. I don't know how you feeling, but I'm gonna tell you how I feel. You know what I mean? We put points on the board. We definitely put points on the board, and I'm in the paint with it. I'm in the paint with it. E-Bike was Gucci. Was Gucci E-Bike? I appreciate that, Luigi. I appreciate that. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Hove! Do I have any sound effects for that? Let me see. What sound effects I got? Aww. There you go, Luigi. Thank you. Thank you. Any free classes? Well, this is what I'm doing. I got the Boiler Hero Academy, where you can go through a 10-day course that I'm creating, where I teach you schematics, I teach you boilers, I teach you troubleshooting things, I teach you overhauls on all types of burners, all types of situations. You know what I'm saying? I have the membership, and then, you know, we're gonna do some classes. You feel what I'm saying? And if you're trying to get into the game, you pretty much got to get with a company. You got to get with a company and just start learning. If you can't get with a company, then you have to learn on your own, which the knowledge I'm gonna make available. And you can go to a company and be like, look, this is what I know. This is what I can do. Can you hire me? They'll hire you if you got some kind of knowledge, and boom, you're in the game. And if you're lucky, you get with a company that has the union behind them, the 638 union, and you set for life, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. You hear that E-Bike? That's pretty much it. E-Bike 10 years old. I'm trying to get my man right in. Any hand on? Yeah, we can make the hands on popping. I can make the hands on popping. Definitely with the hands on. With the Boiler Hero Academy, definitely with the hands on. You gotta have the hands on. Might even do some field tests where I might mess something up. With the Boiler Hero Academy, every day has a different test. Meaning, like, after you learn your shit, I hand you a test. You see if you can pass the test. That's pretty much to prove if you're learning the knowledge that I'm giving to you. If you can pass the test, I'm pretty sure you can retain the knowledge and move on to the next step. And I'm gonna make it to where it's levels to this shit. You feel me? I like about you that at the end of the repair and during the repair, you explain the process, which everybody does, which not everybody does. You know what it is, Luigi? Like, I gotta go back, take a shower. You get out of here, you stink butt. Now, what's that called? You know what it is? You know what it is, Luigi? When I do my boiler stuff, when I'm troubleshooting or when I'm servicing, I want to make it an experience, right? I want people to remember the moment. Let me bring this down a little bit. I feel like I'm too. There you go. I want people to remember the moment. Like, you know, when you make it an experience, you'll remember the moment and you'll remember the troubleshooting. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like basically, if I'm enjoying myself, it'll be like, yo, remember that time we was doing this and that in the boiler room? That's the time that this happened. Remember you took the pop safety and I remember. Oh, that's that shit it made it a moment. So it's like you'll remember the moment and you'll remember the troubleshooting that you did. You know what I'm saying? One thing I tell people is to ask questions. I'm always asking questions. Coming up in the game, I was always asking questions. Always asking questions. Stupid questions too. You know what I mean? Even though there's no such thing as a stupid question, but I was still asking those. You know what I'm saying? Where you from, Suez? Where you from? I probably asked you that before, but I probably don't remember, Suez. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I want to do? I want to look up something. Let's look up something real quick. When you need parts, are you going through the supply house or parts or supply house for parts, or do you support WIMS, Siemens parts, motors, nozzles, and swirlers? Borough Park. Are you in Queens? Are you right there, Brody? Okay, you're right there. Um, to be quite honest, Dan, yeah, I know. Oh, all right, Brooklyn. Yeah, all right, Brooklyn, Queens, same shit, same shit. To be honest, I don't like lying. I'm too honest. But to be honest, when it comes to parts, we go to in New York City. Majority of companies, because I worked for Learden, I worked for East Coast, I worked for National, I worked for Kraus, I worked for Dual Fuel, I worked for Bauer, I worked for, I think that's about it. I'm gonna look it up. Give me a minute. I'll look it up. But I worked for all these companies, big companies, small companies. Cam Fuel. I worked for Cam Fuel. I worked for that company. So I've been to a lot of companies and I've been to a lot of supply houses with the companies. Majority of people are going to shop at Heating and Burner. Heating and Burner. Majority of people are going to shop at H&L. H&L. And we don't go to H&L too often. We don't go there too often. Majority of the time we're at H&B, Heating and Burner. We're gonna go to WIMS. We're gonna go to WIMS. We're gonna go to GBS, Economy, and Amath. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now, for IC parts, I want to say we're supposed to go to WIMS, and we do sometimes, majority of the time, especially when it comes to Siemens parts, especially. And I think we do when it comes to like the metering pumps and shit like that. But electros, not too much. We won't go to WIMS for electros. We won't go to WIMS for electros. If IC sells specific IC ignition screws, then we don't get those. We get screws. We get ignition screws, but I don't know if they're specific to IC. But we get ignition screws from Heating and Burner, which is pretty good screws. I've experienced buying the ignition assembly from other supply houses, and the ignition assembly is not the same. It's not the same structure or the same built. It's not the same metal. Metal bends a little bit, so that's definitely an issue. I'm just being honest. Like I preferably wish we can go to WIMS for everything, but I think the prices do change where people go to shop, even though WIMS has everything official. And I think when it comes to buying official shit, we always go to WIMS. If I don't know if I answered that correctly, I don't want to get nobody upset, but I'm just trying to be honest. In my career, I've been to WIMS many times and it's always been great. Never had to really bring too many things back. You know what I mean? But I don't know even if Wims have things like that on deck. I feel like people go to Wims for big shit, like for pumps. I mean, for metering pumps, for burners. I don't know if we would go to Wims for a blower motor. The actual motor itself, I don't think we would go to Wims for that. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I think we can go somewhere else for that. And I think like for like, doing overhaul, we won't go to Wims for overhaul parts. Maybe I'm telling you too much. I don't know. But this is the truth. This is the truth. You're gonna get me in trouble out here, Dan. You're gonna get me in trouble out here, Dan. But when it comes to IC support, Siemens support, when it comes to IC support, Wims is definitely the place to go. Richie is definitely the guy to talk to. All right, Dan. If I get in trouble, I'm telling him it was your fault. I'm telling him it was your fault. Nah, but I love Wims. I love all the supply houses. To let the cat out of the bag, I'm actually working on a format of a monopoly board with all the supply houses as the railroads. That's a little snippet of what I'm working on. That's a little snippet of what I'm working on. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't got too many people watching, so that's not too much people knowing my business, but I'm working on something, a format of a monopoly board, Boiler Heroes, where the supply houses are the railroads. That's all I'm gonna give you. That's all I'm gonna give you. It's ready in play. I'm not gonna have it in time for the Vegas trip. But if I go to that ABMA, whatever that shit is, that ABMA, I might be ready for that. Might pull up to the ABMA with the monopoly board. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. Now let me do what I wanted to do. I wanted to ask a question. When and who was the first boiler man? The D has a custom proprietary shaft. No one else should be selling it in NY, only Wims. You see what I'm saying, Dan? Chill. You chill, Dan. Chill, Dan. You saying shit? I don't know who else is selling it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know nothing. 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 Let's focus on this, Dan. No, over here. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on this shit. What's AI? I don't know nothing, Dan. It's ChatGPT. I'm asking it when and who was the first boiler man. I want to know who and when was the first boiler man ever on this earth, and we're going to see what chat says. All right, Dan? Let's change the subject. Let's see what chat says. That's a great question. And to answer it properly, we need to go back to the early days of steam power. You hear me? What up? Isaac? I think I'm saying that right. Isaac?
Welcome, my hero.
Was good. When I'm trying to figure out when was the first boiler man ever and who was it, right? And they saying to know this, you got to go back in the steam days. The steam days, right? The first boiler man, also called a boiler stroker or fireman. First of all, pause that. What up, TJ?
Welcome, my hero.
And you think stream live while you're doing repairs on burners will be interesting? Bro, I already do that. You got to be a member. If you're a member of the Boiler Hero Academy, you will see me live. I go live in the boiler room if I have service, and I stream it live. But you got to be a member to get that, because just in case something happens, you know what I'm saying? At least I'm getting paid for it, because I might get fired. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But they used to call us boiler strokers. Can we pause that real quick? I need a pause button. Hold on.
Bruh.
Boiler stroker.
Bruh.
Come on. Right? Or firemen. So you're telling me, what up, bro? I'm chilling. So you're telling me we used to be called firemen before firemen. We were firemen before firemen. I think that's why they called the iron fireman was the first kind of, like, you know, burner, the iron fireman. You know what I'm saying? The iron fireman. If you get fired, I hire you. All right, Luigi. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that. I don't even know what working doing what, but I'm going to hold you to that. Shoot, no company nowadays can afford to fire anyone with true boiler knowledge. That's not true. That's not true. That is not true.
Bruh.
That is not true. They would just take a quick shot at somebody, he's out of there. That's it. That's it. He's out of there. So look, boiler stroker and fireman, that's what they was calling us back in the days, right? Doesn't refer to a single known person, but rather to the workers who operated and maintained the earliest steam boilers. So they had people out here controlling steam boilers back in the days. They haven't even gave us a year yet. The role appeared around the early 18th century, shortly after the invention of practical steam engine. Would you say that you are replaceable with all that knowledge you have? Isn't the saying everybody's replaceable? You know? I'll tell you this. They can probably, not they like the company I work for, but anybody can probably replace somebody with knowledge. But me, nobody can replace my passion. That's for one and for sure. They could probably get somebody with more knowledge, but nobody's gonna beat my passion, bro. I swear to God, nobody's gonna beat my passion. You feel me? Because I can easily teach this knowledge to anybody, bro. Anybody can learn this shit if they want to learn this shit. But that passion, ain't nobody can mimic my passion. I love working on steam too. I love working on steam. You know what I mean? But ain't nobody gonna go to work, fix boilers with a smile on their face, try to teach the supers and come back and go live and talk about boilers again. Ain't nobody doing that. You feel what I'm saying, Luigi? That's all it is. You can replace the knowledge because somebody else can have the knowledge. But that don't mean they got that passion though. They're not gonna get up at 5:30 to make sure they're at work before everybody. Because 9 out of 10, I'm there before everybody. I'm there before the boss is there, before the door opens. I'm there waiting for them. Like, I'm ready. Give me my first job. Let's go. Ain't nobody replacing that. You feel me? The role, the period, and whatever. Here's a quick timeline. Goodell Gonzalez, what up?
Welcome, my hero.
Do you ever think about moving out the city? I'm in Boston and we're busy here, but life isn't as crazy as NY. I lived in NY for a while and definitely don't miss it. TJ, I always did only industrial. That's why I always ask why I would see you plug in fire tubes. So for Goodell Gonzalez, I hope I'm saying your name right. I've been offered jobs in Texas. I think somebody offered me a job in Virginia. If I was to leave the state, to be honest, I probably would go to Texas. And Boston would be another good thing. But to be quite honest, the company that I work for, it's not just a company to me. Like, I have emotional ties to the company. Like, the company I work for is the first company I've ever I started boilers with. Like, I knew nothing about boilers when I first started with the company that I'm working for right now. And the company I'm working for right now, my uncle worked for this company as well. So it's kind of part of my story, the company that I'm working for. So it's kind of difficult for me to just leave this company because of the emotional, the connection, the family ties, and just for my story of being a boiler hero. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm a second generation boiler man, and part of my story is that, you know, my uncle, he didn't really believe that I could be a boiler man and didn't give me a shot. The company I work for today is the company that gave me a shot. And I had to prove myself to be a good boiler man to my uncle, for him to even give me a shot, which still, he didn't believe I could be great. And I left my uncle's company and I became the boiler hero. I became one of the best boiler men out there. And I get choked up thinking about it, because it's like I had to really go hard. And nobody gave me this knowledge. Nobody gave it to me. I had to take it. Nobody said, here, learn this. I said, nah, give me that. What is this? What is that? What does that do? If I put this to 20 PSI, what happens? If I put that to 30 PSI, what happens? Why does this work like this? Nah, if I do that, what would happen? If I do this, what would happen? I asked so many questions that I put myself in so many scenarios that I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent, but it's like, this is real shit. This is real shit. I'm a fireman. I'm a boiler stroker. Pause. I think Texas would be awesome. Texas is dope. I'm not gonna lie, Texas is dope. My boiler brother went down to Texas and he's loving it. You know what I mean? How long you been doing this? I've been doing this for like about 20 years. Since I was 19 years old, I've been doing this. You know what I mean? And you know, I'll be honest, the 20 years didn't give me the knowledge and experience. I gained a lot within the first couple years. You know what I mean? 100. I was always asking questions as a helper. The mechanic at the time would be like, do you ever shut up? No, I don't. I don't shut up. Tell me. Feed me this information. You feel what I'm saying? But like, what was I saying? Word, much respect. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, but it's just a funny thing. You know what I mean? Because like, I didn't even think that, like, I learned it in a couple years, and then it took me to the confidence took the rest of the amount of years. Because once you know your shit, it's the confidence of knowing that you know your shit is what takes a while to develop. That you know, if you put it this way, you know 1,000% what's going to happen if you put it this way. If you turn the gauge that way, you know 1,000%. I'm gonna tell the super, bro, if you push it this, if you do this, if you do that, this is going to happen. That confidence took a while to build, because you have to be super confident in what's happening and what you're doing to make the next person believe in you, to where the super can go, yo, bro, this guy knows his shit. When I started getting that, that's when I started realizing that I knew my shit. And I'll be honest with you, when I was working with my uncle, it was my little cousin. He was my helper at the time, my little cousin. He's the one that told me, yo, bro, you know your shit. And I said, word? He said, yeah, bro, you know your shit. I'm watching you and you know your shit. It took that for me to actually leave and go explore my own shit. You feel me? And then as I started bouncing from company to company, every company I went to was impressed by the knowledge I had. And I'm like, wow, like, these are grown ass men. I'm young at the time. I'm in my 20s, 22, 23. And I'm like, these are grown ass men surprised that I'm some kid who just knows this boiler shit. So that made me even more intrigued to learn this shit. Like, what? This is a superpower? This boiler shit is a superpower, and grown ass men is like, yo, what this little kid doing with this superpower? How did you learn this superpower? I ain't gonna front. I learned it from the best. I learned it from one of the best out there. You know what I'm saying? So I do residential as an HVAC technician 3 years. If you had one piece of advice from me, what would it be? I do residential as an HVAC technician. If I had one piece of advice, remember, you're the detective, and everybody else who's been in the house is a witness. What did you see? The more questions you ask, the easier the job becomes. The job is for you. The more you educate the client, the easier the job is for you. You'll know before you even get there. Hey, Mr. HVAC guy, you know that thing that you was talking about be beeping? It's beeping again. A word? Or remember, is it beeping the way I told you it's beeping? Yeah, it's beeping 3 times like you just told me. That tells me this and this and that. And I checked this and this and that, but it's not working. I'll be there. I don't like service people. I build relationships. And that's one thing that my uncle did teach me, is building relationships with your client. You're helping the people. You're not servicing them. You're helping them. You know what I mean? And just how a doctor, or you would want a doctor to talk to you about your bones, like, or your body, like, look, you're sick, bro. Stop eating that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you keep eating that shit, you're going to get sick, and this is why you're feeling like that. I want a doctor to talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk to my supers like that. Yo, bro, stop doing this to your boiler. Or maybe start doing this to your boiler. Or maybe start paying attention to your boilers. But you know what, Soup? I know it's not true. I know the property manager pulls all the strings. So, you know, I'm not blaming you, Soup. But damn, you got to do something, Soup. You know what I'm saying? That's the relationship. What up, Reaper?
Welcome, my hero.
So if I was to give you advice, man, don't look at it as you're servicing, you're working. You're helping the people. You're servicing the people. You know what I mean? You're no different than a doctor. You're no different than an Army veteran or an Army soldier going out there. You're no different than a baseball player. You're no different than a basketball player. And that's how I look at it. Like, I want to be the Kobe Bryant of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And somebody told me they don't give out trophies to us mechanics. Why not? They don't put Hall of Fame, they don't put mechanics in Hall of Fames. Why not? I'm already looking up how to be the first boiler man in the Guinness Book of World Records. Why not? I'm looking it up. You feel me? I already sent them paper. I already sent them documentation of what I wanted to do. I don't know if you're still there, Dan, but I wanted to get IC involved. Who is the reasonable talking, what? Who is this reasonable talking hero sitting in for our hero? Yo, what up, bro? Much love, VA Slim.
Welcome,
What up,
my
Neil?
hero.
What up, Mike?
Welcome, my hero.
Sitting in for our hero, you stupid. I'm just talking, man. I'm showing the love and, you know, just spilling my heart out. The Guada song, I'm just spilling the heart out, man. You feel me? I love this industry, you know. 100% right. We get no love. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? And you know, I was talking to one of my friends on here called Tape. His name is Tape. And I told him, you know, being a social media dude or influencer, the boiler man, the boiler hero, whatever it is, if I can make some money out of this, that's cool. That's cool. I'll make the money. But really, what I want is to change some shit. I want to change some shit, man. I want to change some shit in this game. I want to change some shit in this industry. I want to mark my name in history. I want to put my name in history. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I really want. I want when people go back in history and say boilers, they see me too. You know what I'm saying? They see me up there. And I get emotional thinking about it because that's really my goal. Is to set some shit on fire. You feel what I'm saying? Literally set some shit on fire. I ain't do that on purpose either. I'm a boiler man setting shit on fire. You feel me? I win a trophy every time I help a family out. Exactly. I feel the same way, Luigi. No, that wasn't Luigi. Isaac. I feel the same way. And get their system up and running. That's enough for me. The smile on their faces, Isaac. The joy of, wow, you did that. I swear to God, that's enough for me. Some technician, when they come into my boiler, they are mad before they start. You are so right. Yo, you right. You are so right. You are different. You bring joy before you start to work. Damn, Luigi, you know what? It feels good to have a super here who sees me work. You know what I mean? Because like you can co-sign my energy. You know what I mean? Like, you know why I bring joy before I work? Because I'm really excited to get there and do some shit. I'm really excited. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Do I got a button for that? I gotta have a button for that. That's the button I got for that. But you know what? Like I said, I really enjoy what I do. It brings me joy to help people. I don't come to these buildings on some I'm working. I appreciate you, Luigi. I come to these buildings as if I'm visiting the super. I don't come to this building as if, you know what I'm saying? You call for a service call? Nah, bro. I'm just coming up to chill with you. You want me to fix your shit? I'll fix your shit real quick. And after that, you know what I'm saying? I'll dip real quick. If you busy, I'll dip after I fix your shit. Or matter of fact, I just fixed your shit. Sign this paper right here. I think my boss is gonna send you a bill or something. I don't know, but I just fixed your shit. But I think my boss is gonna send you a bill. But you good though? All right, bro. I'll check you later. That's my experience, bro. You feel me? I'm just chilling with my supers. It's like I'm seeing my friends every time I get to a service call that I haven't seen in a minute. Like, yo, Soup, what's good? How you been? How's the family? Everybody good? What's wrong with your shit, bro? You fucking up your shit again? And then you know what's cool about it? The supers trust me, so they tell me the truth, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I pressed this button. That shit fucked my shit up. Damn, so why you pressing this button for? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to press the button. I got you, bro. Like, look, don't press the button no more. I bet I'm gonna put this tape over it for you and press the button. That's the relationship I got. When's the next Boilers and Baddies episode? I had to cancel it, but I can bring it back if I want to. But I had to cancel it. I wanted to, you know what it is? I wanted to clean it up for me to be able to get some sponsors and some brand deals. I don't think I'm gonna get any brand deals if I continue Baddies and Boilers. But I wanna grow and, you know, and just try to be smart business-wise. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I might take Baddies and Boilers to another level and add it towards Boiler Hero Academy. I'll add it to Boiler Hero Academy. And when you're part of Boiler Hero Academy, you get to see the Baddies and Boilers too. So you'll get the live stream on the job, you get the Baddies and Boilers, and you get the Boiler Hero Academy. And if you get the A Mechanic membership, I think that's the highest one, every month you get a t-shirt. You get 2 t-shirts now. Now I'm gonna add 1 t-shirt from tradesmanapparel.com, tradesmanculture.com, and the board t-shirt if you're a member. That's what I'm doing. Hide the buttons. Hide the button. What buttons you talking about? What buttons you talking about, Neil?
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
What buttons you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Got the Brooks Brothers hat here. Brooks Brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Brooks brother. Look, we still getting into the wording. Don't push the buttons. That's a fact. That's a fact. 1912, Thomas Newcomen, pause. an English inventor, built the atmospheric steam engine, which used a boiler to create steam for pumping water out of mines. Mike. From one fellow tradesman to another, Slim, I appreciate what you're doing. Keep pushing and keep grinding. I'm a chief engineer for an elderly building, and making sure they good is the award for me. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's what we do this shit for, man. Damn, Mike, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. You know, like being able to bring all the tradesmen together like on some Avengers shit, that's rewarding for me. I be seeing people in the comments talking to other tradesmen like, yo, that's the guy that trained me in the comments. I'm like, yo, that's fire. That's fire. How you see the guy who trained you in the comments? Yo, how you commenting and you see your mentor in the comments? He's like, oh, that's my mentor. I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, that's my mentor. I said, oh shit, that's what's up. Niggas saying hi to each other, saying, how's the family in the comments? I said, that brought me so much joy, bro. That brought me so much joy. You feel me? The people who tended these early boilers were essentially the first boilermen. They kept the fire going, monitored pressure, and fed coal or wood into the furnace. So the first boilermen were around the 1700s, 1712. My man Thomas Newcomen, pause. He was an English dude, right? My man was like, all right, look, I'm going to build the first atmospheric steam engine. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I got to look this up. Hold up. Atmospheric steam engine. Hold up. You feel me? Atmospheric steam engine, right? Let's see how this looking. Oh, this is an atmospheric steam engine. Okay. So there's no real engine in it, right? So it's making some steam shit going on here. Okay. Let's see a color one. Okay. Atmospheric steam engine. Okay. So that's an atmospheric steam engine. Okay. All right. That's my man Thomas Newcomen, pause. Right, that's the shit that he made. And in the late 1700s, when James Watt, ooh, is that where Watts come from? Is it my man James Watt? Is that where Watts come from? Don't get me hype. Don't get me hype. When James Watt improved the steam engine, boilers became more efficient, and the boilerman or engine tender became a recognized trade, particularly in the industry and early rail transport. Steam choo-choo trains, exactly. Hold on, so is this where gigawatts come from? Is this like the same from Back to the Future shit? When he was in the, hey, gigawatts. Is that where gigawatts come from? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm trying to learn. You feel what I'm saying? So while there's no single person known as the first boilerman, the title likely applies to the workers employed alongside Newcomen's early engines in England around 1712, possibly miners who maintained and operated the engine boilers. Correct. And they realized the more they kept it covered, the more pressure they accumulated. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. Would you like me to show you what the early 18th century boiler operator looked like? I can generate historic style images for you. We don't need that right now. The capacitor, the flux capacitor. Yeah, exactly, Neil. You know, that's what makes time travel possible, right? The flux capacitor is the reason why time travel was possible. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Okay. I like this. I like that we do this education shit. You feel me? Like, we can learn where we come from. Where do boilermen come from? Why do we call boilermen? Why they call us boiler strokers? You know what's crazy? Chill. When you do an IC, right, and the high fire blows out because it's too much air, but the low fire is good, what do? We stroke out the arms. We're boiler strokers. You feel me? You feel me? Click yes. You want yes? You want to continue down this timeline? We can continue down this timeline. Let me know. Let me get you know what to do. Let me get a fire emojis. You know we boiler men out here. We make flames. Let me see the fire emojis if you want me to do yes. If you want to go down this timeline. And we can go down this timeline. Stroker or stoker? Ooh, okay. Good eye. Stoker. It was stoker. Let's see. I don't know what stoker means. Let me find the definition of stoker. Stoker steam engine. There was a movie called Stoker. A stoker, also known as a fireman, were crew members on a steamship responsible for fueling the ship's engine by shoveling. Oh! So my man, all the dudes who died on the Titanic were stokers. Oh! Chill! Wow. I ain't know all those dudes in the Titanic were stokers. That's crazy. That's crazy. They were out here shoveling it. Close the doors. You know what I'm saying? When they were about to hit the iceberg and shit, they had to close the doors and reverse the engines. Those are the stokers. Oh, all right, bet. All right, let's hit yes. Let's continue. I gotta sign up. Maybe next time. I gotta sign up and do all this good shit. But I will. Hold on. You know what, bro? Hold on. Do I got something here? You know what? No, I don't. Let me see something. I did it for y'all. Let me see. Yeah. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. Better luck next time. We going in. I'm back. My man E-Bike took a bath. He came back. Yo, I was trying to go in, Neil. Man. It didn't work out. Man. My fault. Hold on. Let me see if I can work something out for you. Let me see. It's not looking too good. Damn. Maybe next time. Sorry, boys. Maybe next time. I apologize. I gotta sign up, and when I sign up, then we'll get into it. But hold on, should be a free, maybe I picked the wrong one. I think that's what it is. I picked the wrong one. Let me see. Because that should have been Gucci out here. Yep, I think I picked the wrong one, guys. It says search up my dad. Got gonna rot our brains worse. Let me see something. Let's start all over. Who was the first boiler man? Let's see what chat says. The phrase "first boiler man" isn't a standard historical term, so it can mean different things. Most commonly, people use the first person to develop the steam boiler. If that was what you mean, the best answer: Dennis Papin. Anybody know who Dennis Papin is? Because that's that 1600s. Dennis Papin, a French physicist and inventor. In 1679, he built the early steam boiler called the steam digester. He also invented the safety valve, a critical boiler component still used today. What up, Moonrock?
Welcome, my hero.
His work directly influenced later steam engines. I don't know this guy either. Dennis Papin. Right? And look, he must have that Newcomen dude must have came in right after him, because look, he died at 1712 when Newcomen did his thing at 1712. We're putting it together. I'm just saying, look, 1712, that's when he died, and he passed it off to your boy Newcomen. I'm just saying. Other key figures not first but important. Thomas Savery used the steam pressure in the early engines. Thomas Newcomen, there you go, built the first practical steam engine with a boiler 1712. You see what I'm saying? After my man Dennis died, my man Newcomen came through and said, yo, bro, I'm building this shit. On his grave, I'm making my shit, my man. That's probably was his boy. I'm going to make my man dreams come true. I'm going to build this shit. Shout out to Thomas. And James Watt greatly improved the boiler and engine efficiency at 1700s. He that old. He that old guy. That's a fact. Let me see. If you meant something else, boiler man, for example, job title, nickname, sports mascot, industry role, let me know and I'll tailor the answer. Let's see. How did he live till 65 back then? They lived till like 30. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Who is Boiler Hero? But heroes. Who is Boiler Heroes? Isn't a single, well-defined historical term, refers to a few different things. Social media, media presence, Boiler Hero. That's your boy. And then there's a Boiler Hero UK. All right, so there's only two people in the world named Boiler Heroes. Your boy and some company in the UK. I'm just saying. We run this shit. You feel me? All right, that's what's up. I like it. That man had 3 life. I mean, it's not fair we don't. Wait, time out. I just got what you meant, bro. You said people be dying to 30 years old. He lived to 65. So that means he had 3 lives. Yo, bro. You 10 years old, bro. For 10 years old, you funny as hell, bro. He said, my man had 3 lives. People be dying at 30. My man had 3 lifetimes. Yo, I'm not asking if he knows E-Bike 67. I'm not asking about E-Bike Man 67. I'm not. I'm actually gonna probably head out in a minute. I did my hour. I did my hour. I appreciate everybody for joining in today. We had some fun. I think we're gonna do this education shit some more often. Like more often. I think we're gonna do this ChatGPT shit more often. I like this. I like just figuring this shit out and learning shit. Tomorrow we're gonna do the Lochinvar. Tomorrow we do Lochinvar class. We're gonna start on our Lochinvar class and see what's popping. You feel me? So as we bow out, let's start off with the theme song. I'm sorry, E-Bike. Sorry, I gotta go. What happens to my music? There we go. There we go. Sorry, I gotta go. Gotta go get in bed with the girls. Neil, good night, Neil. I appreciate you like always. I got a test question for you. I don't even know who this is. Tomorrow's my next live. I appreciate you, Luigi. Good night. Good night, Mike. Good night, all my guys.
Welcome, my hero.
Tomorrow we'll be back and we're doing Lochinvar tomorrow. Until tomorrow. Good night.